Hello and welcome again on this next part of our video series, which is we're gonna be making the wing section of our aircraft. And I just wanna congratulate you on moving on this the section of the aircraft, which is the fuselage. We have already overcome the complicated or the complex shapes, especially the cockpit section of the fuselage. So yeah, right now we could move on and proceed on creating the wing section. Again, before we need to prepare some tools so that we could create the profiles of the wings. So in order to do that, I'll go here at the utilities. So here on the ribbon of Fusion 360, I'll go here at the utilities. I'll select this drop down menu on the add-ins. Then I'll select Fusion App Store. It would redirect you on your default browser, and this would open the page. Once you're here, what I just want you to do is on the search bar type in airfoil. Hit search after you've typed it, and you would be presented with 4 different products here. So for me, I personally use this one, and I have been using this since I have started creating 3D models of my aircraft. So I'll just stick to this, but honestly I haven't tried this tree yet, so I'll just stick with this. And then once you're here, you just have to click the download button, and then you just have to enter your email and then your password, and then you just have to hit next. Once you have entered those, you will go back again at this page, and then you could download it, and then it would start downloading this airfoil tool. Since I have it already, let me show you. So this is what's gonna be on your folder, and you just have to click it and install, or click on some agreements. You just have to say yes, and then that's it. You already have the airfoil tool. Once you have done that, you could go back again at Fusion 360, and then you could just check if it has already been installed. So for me, the way to check it is we just have to create a sketch. Then since we're just checking it, you could just select any plane. So I'll just check it here. Then you could see it here on this section right here that the airfoil has already been installed. Or if you do not see it here, you could also click or select the create drop down menu, and you'll see it also here. If you still do not see it, what I would suggest is you just have to close the Fusion 360 and then relaunch it again, and then that for sure the airfoil tool that we have installed will be visible here and also here. Okay, so after we have successfully installed and confirmed that the airfoil tool is inside the Fusion 360, what we have to do next is know the airfoil profile that we're going to be using on this aircraft. Let me just be clear to you that since this is a military aircraft, or government doesn't really disclose what specific specifications was used on this aircraft, they wouldn't when we search, it wouldn't really give us the exact answer for us. So also, like on my, if you have noticed as well, on my uploaded 3D models on GrabCAD, some of my models they don't really have the exact airfoil tool or the airfoil profile used. So for example, the Airbus A350 that I already have uploaded on GrabCAD, I do not also know the airfoil tool, the specific airfoil tool, since Airbus is confidential on some airfoils that they use. Some of them, I'm pretty sure they are in-house made, so they did extensive research and don't want to disclose it at the public. So especially here, they wouldn't really disclose the specific airfoil that was used. But still, I'll show you the on how I try to search airfoil tools that I'm gonna be using on my aircrafts. So again, let's open our browser and then we'll type in, because I already have it here, I'll just select so specific airfoil used in U-2 Dragon Lady. How about let's change it, so what's the specific airfoil? So it says here that the airfoil is a NACA airfoil, like a 6 series laminar airfoil. We'll be sticking with this type of airfoil. So I wouldn't really take much of my time, but if you scroll down here, you wouldn't really get the exact airfoil, like I've said, because this is a confidential plane or a military plane. They wouldn't really disclose it at the public. So right now, we'll just stick with this. And after this, so we have already this one. I'll go at this site that's called Airfoil Tools. And then that's the first link that we have to click. So that's airfoiltools.com. This is where I get all of my airfoils when creating an aircraft. So I'll just select this, and then like I've told you, because I have already tried, or when I'm not still recording the video, I have tried several airfoils already, and really some of them are really trial and errors until you get the as close or approximately close to the shape of the canvas here. So let me go here, so canvas, so here. So for me, what I found that fits best at that canvas is the NACA 64 series. And then I hit on search, and then this is the specific airfoil that I have used for the Dragon Lady. So I'll just select this, and then to be able to get this profile right here, we have to open it by selecting the hyperlink here. So it says here source.file. I'll select this. What we have to do here is copy all of this. So on my keyboard, I'll select Control A and then Control C to copy it, and then open my notepad. I'll paste it here, so Control V. I'll save it as, so I'll just save it as it is, the specific file name for this, so that's going to be NACA 64-1-212. And then instead of using text as the extension file name, I'll change it to DAT, or Delta Alpha Tango. So make sure, don't forget that the file name should be this file name, or the extension name should be this format. And then hit save. Because I already have the airfoil profile already, it's asking me if I want to replace it. So I'll just click yes. So yes. Then there we go. So we're finished at step 2. What we just have to do now is inject the airfoil profile that we have using the airfoil tool that we have installed a while ago. Now that we have the airfoil profile, we could now start creating the sketch for us to create the wing sections. So I'll start it by, let me hide this first. So I'll hide the fuselage, we don't need it yet. I'll turn on the canvas. I'll start a sketch from the top face. So I create a sketch. I'll select the top face. Let me just rotate this. I'll select line. I'll start from the origin point. So first point would be from the origin point. Then make sure that this is perfectly horizontal. And then I'll end the second point right around here. press the check mark once you're done, and then I'll still use the line tool, so don't escape it yet. And I'll trace this line here, or the outline of the wing here, and then imagining it that the wing, the outline of this wing here is gonna be extending up until here. Press the check mark, and again I'll trace the outline here, and again imagining it how it would extend up until here. There you go. And then press check mark and then escape to exit the line tool. I'll trim the excess lines since I don't need them, so I'll select the trim tool. I'll trim this, I'll trim this, I'll escape the trim tool, and then I'll just manually delete these lines here. I'll select this line, delete on my keyboard, I'll select this line, and then again delete on my keyboard. Once done, or I'm happy with this line here, so this will just serve as a guideline, and then I'll finish the sketch. And we just rotate the view, and then from this line I'll construct a plane at an angle. I'll rotate this, or just enter a specific value, which is gonna be 90 degrees, and then hit OK. I'll create a sketch here from this plane, so I'll select this plane, create a sketch. I'll project our line that we have just created, so I'll press P on my keyboard, I'll select this line. Oh, by the way, since this is a 2D sketch, it is already set to specified entities, so no need to change it. And then I'll select this line, press OK once done. Go here at the sketches, sketch 15, which is originally our guideline. I'll just hide it since I don't need it. And then this line right here that we have just projected, I'll convert it into a regular line. So this will become from magenta line would become blue line. To do that is select it, right click from your mouse, break link, and you would see that it is just a regular line here. And then always remember that since we're injecting an airfoil profile, is for us to be able, or for us to succeed, always make sure that this line here would be converted first into a construction line. So we already know already how to do that, so we just have to select this at the sketch palette, line type, that would be construction line. There you go. Now it's a construction line, and then we can go ahead and again select this line, the construction line here, tap on or select our airfoil tool. Okay, it says here select construction line, and we already have selected this, so no need to redo it, so that's already okay. Just hit OK here, and then it would open your file manager where you have saved the airfoil profile that we have get on the internet. So for me, it's here at the downloads page, and then if you still remember the file name, that's gonna be NACA641-212. Select this, hit open, there you go. So the airfoil has already been injected inside Fusion 360. Before finishing the sketch, I would like to point out something here. So some other air profiles that you would download here on airfoiltools.com, some of them are not really a closed shape. So always make sure to zoom. This is gonna be always here. Zoom the shape right here, and just make sure that the shape is a closed shape. So sometimes there would be a gap here where lines do not meet each other at this point, and what you just have to do is, for me personally, I use fit point spline here, and then just modify it so that it would become a closed shape. So it would really depend on how you would do it. But for me, I would not show it here since this is already a closed shape. And I'll just finish the sketch here. Next step is we have to move the air profile relative to the wing section of our canvas. To be able to do that, I'll just select this air profile, press M on my keyboard, I'll use the up arrow key and move it up. And also an important reminder, always switch views views of our canvas to see if the airfoil is at the place where we want it to be. So I'll go here at the front view, and then I'll just make sure to drag it again right around here, and imagining that the outline of this wing section is right here. For me, this is quite okay as well. Well, top view doesn't really make any sense, so just leave it as it is there. So it's okay. So what would make sense is the side view of the canvas and also only the front view. For me, I'm quite happy with this, so I'll press OK. And then there we go. So we already have the first profile for our wing section. Okay, next. After we have moved the first airfoil profile that we have, we'll create another or multiple airfoil profiles like this, but they would be in different sizes, since you would see it here that so let's go at the top view. So you would see it here that the wing is gonna be tapered. So it's gonna be wide here, the airfoil, and then it's gonna be tapered until it's gonna be narrow here. To be able to do that, what we just have to do is from this line, I'll create again construct a plane at an angle. We don't have to rotate the plane anymore, so I'll just hit OK, and then I'll create a sketch from this plane. I'll select a line here. This is gonna be the first point of the line is gonna be here, so 1 and then 2. And then I'll just have to manually adjust this so that it would trace or touch the edge of the wing right here. So right around here. Create another line, and then I'll create a line here, so 1 and then 2. Let's check mark once you're done. I'm happy with this, so I would not adjust this anymore and proceed at the 4th line, so right around here, so 1 and then 2. Press check mark once you are done, and then hit the escape key or on your keyboard once you're done using the line tool again, and then I'll finish the sketch. From these lines that we have created, I'll create a plane at an angle, so the same. I'll select this line. I'll just enter the specific values. That's going to be 90 degrees. Okay. Again, construct a plane at an angle, and then I'll select this line. Again, 90 degrees. And then last, again, plane at an angle, and then this again, so 90 degrees, and then press OK. What I would do now is the same process that we did here, so I'll just select this. I'll select this first plane for this one, so select the plane, create a sketch. It's gonna be quite tricky here, so I'll just rotate the view and then I'll project this line. So press P on my keyboard, select this line here, OK. Let me hide first That's gonna be sketch 17. And then again, we'll need to actually this one you don't really need to convert it into a regular n. I'm sorry about the earlier what I have said. So also you could leave it as it is. So it could also be like a projected line. So it's just leave it as it is. So it's color magenta right now. And what I just have to do is select it and then change the line type into construction line. And then again select this construction line and then select airfoil tool and then hit OK and then again select NACA 64. Open. And then there we go. Sometimes it's quite tricky since the airfoil or where it is currently the orientation isn't quite the same as this, so no need to worry about this one. So what I would do here is I'll mirror this and then move it at this point. Right now this is quite messy, so I'll just hide first the construction planes. Let me just hide the sketch 16, which is the first airfoil. And right side view, I'll create a line here. So first point would be here, so 1 and then 2. Press check mark. Press escape on your keyboard. I'll select this airfoil profile. Deselect this. Sorry, wait. So select this airfoil profile. I'll select the mirror tool. Okay, the objects has already been selected. And what you just have to do is select the mirror line. So that's gonna be this. And then hit OK. What I would do now is delete this airfoil profile. That's not the same as the first profile that we just did. So I'll select this and then delete on my keyboard. And then I'll move it at this point. So from here until here. To be able to do that, I'll select this. Okay, it's always selecting. Okay, I'll just select this airfoil profile here. So select. I'll select move, and then the move type that we're gonna be selecting is point to point. So the first point would be here. So the origin point would be there, and then the target point is we need to select this. Press OK once you are done. And then I'll just delete this line here and delete this line. I don't need this anymore. And then again, let me unhide this first airfoil profile that we have. And there we go. Let me check the top view. Okay. Let me also check the front view. That's quite okay as well. So finish sketch. Before I proceed on the other airfoil profiles that we're gonna be making, it's okay as well to rename these sketches right now so that you wouldn't be confused later on. So I'll just rename this sketch 16 would be airfoil 1. Airfoil 1, sketch 18, which is gonna be, oops, sorry. So, okay, why couldn't I select this? Rename. Okay. Don't know what's happening with Fusion 360. Wouldn't be able to rename sketch 18, but later on we'll rename this. So I'll just leave it as it is. So I'll just remember sketch 18 would be airfoil number 2 and just proceed on the other two. Oops, sorry. So construction, and then next would be here. So I'll select this plane, create a sketch, Let me unhide sketch 17 so that I could project this line. Press P on my keyboard, select this line, press OK. Let me hide again sketch 17, I don't need it yet. And then just directly convert this into a construction line, so it doesn't matter. So select, line type would be construction. There we go. It's currently selected, so I'll go ahead and select airfoil tool. Okay, it's already selected, so just OK. And then again, select NACA 64. Hit open. There we go. So this airfoil is already at the proper orientation, so no need to adjust anything on here. Finish sketch. Let me just try if I could rename this. So still not yet. How about this? Just rename this airfoil 3. I don't know what happened here, but I couldn't rename this. Maybe if I close the Fusion 360 and then reopen it again, maybe I could rename this into airfoil 2. But don't worry, we could still remember this. So this is gonna be airfoil 1. Sketch 18 is airfoil 2. Sketch I'm sorry. So yes, this is gonna be airfoil 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me check. So top view, that's okay for me. Let's see at the front view, that's okay for me as well. Okay, so last is gonna be the airfoil number 4. So select this plane. I'll create a sketch. Let me unhide the lines so that I could project it. I'll press P on my keyboard. Select this line here. Press OK. Again, hide the sketch 17. I don't need it again. Directly just change it into a construction line. So line type, construction. Still currently selected. I'll go ahead and proceed to airfoil tool. Press OK. Again, that's gonna be NACA 64. Then open it. And then OK. So the orientation is also the same as the other 3. No need to adjust anything on this last airfoil. I could now just finish the sketch. And then again, just one last check. So everything just looks fine. How about at the front view? Okay, so no need to worry about this just yet. Later on, I'll show you some of my tips or how I do it, but we'll just leave it as it is. So it's currently not at the middle of the canvas right here, but that's okay. And then I'll change the name into, am I correct? So that's okay. Sketch 20 is airfoil number 4. So it's going to be airfoil number 4. Later on the next videos, you'll see that this is already renamed to airfoil number 2. Once I have restarted my Fusion app. Okay, so next step would be lofting all of these profiles right here. Again, we have just to go here at the surface, then under create drop down menu, select loft. Profile 1 would be this section right here, so 1. Profile 2 is here, 2. Profile 3 is this, so 3. Profile number 4 is this. Before I finish or press on OK, let me just check it. So front view, again, as I have mentioned, this is because the profile right here isn't quite at the right position. We'll have to adjust the bodies after we have completed this. So no need to worry about this now. So right around here, this is okay. It's just right around here that is not okay or not in the proper position, but we'll adjust it later. So let me check on the top view. Everything here also looks just fine to me. Okay. After visually inspecting it, I'll finish the lofting tool. Okay, there you go. So now we have the body. Now my technique personally, there are two ways where I would adjust this. So first is I'll select this body here, and then I'll select on move, and then I'll rotate it right there. Okay, so negative 5 degrees is too much, so we'll have to start incrementally into smaller values. So how about 0.3, negative 0.3, and then let me check. Wow, actually we already, I think I'm pretty happy with this. So no need to worry about the whole wing covering all of the outline of the canvases, since like I've told you that the wing is, in real life it's gonna be tapered. So just make sure that the body is inside or at the middle of the canvas right here. So for me, I'm happy with this one, but let me just also double check on each side or at each view. So nothing has really changed here, so still the same. How about at the side view? Okay, that's still okay for me. Now I am done here. There you go. If we open again the fuselage section, let me just unhide the canvas. You will see here that somehow that the aircraft is starting to get close to the canvas. So you would see here, now we're getting we're getting the silhouette of the body of the aircraft here. So there you go. And then again, next step is we're just gonna have to mirror this body right here, or this wing section. Again, I'll select this body right here under create. I'll select mirror tool. Objects to mirror is already selected, which is this, and the mirror plane would be this face right here. Okay. Press OK once you're done. And now we have the two bodies right here. Let me unhide the fuselage component again, and there we go. So let me unhide the construction planes and also the sketches here, and then visually inspect it. If you want, you could also go to render design and just inspect it there. So for me, I've always liked to switch here and just look at how the body is looking right now. And I'll hide the canvas. Just by looking at this, everything is for the wing section. Let's just focus on the wing section. So everything is quite good for me. So there you go. And the next is we're gonna be creating the, let me just call them the auxiliary pods here, or the auxiliary tanks. I don't know if this is for the fuel, so that it could fly an extended range. So yeah, this is gonna be much more simpler on creating. And before proceeding on that, it's also a good idea to start a new component and put on all the sketches, the bodies, and the construction planes that we have used to create the wing section. So again, I'll create a new component, and we don't have to activate it. And then I'll just create it. I'll name it wings. Okay. And then again, like I've told you, I'll just go here at the sketches instead of manually moving them. So I'll just select the sketches, So again, left click, select this, then shift on my keyboard up, and then select sketch 20. Then in between sketch 15 and sketch 20 is they are already selected. Then I'll just drag it here. There you go. So all of the, since again the bodies, the 3D bodies and the construction planes are all related to the sketches, it would Fusion 360 would automatically detect them, that the bodies and the construction planes use will be already moved here under wings section. So no need to worry about it. So we see here that everything under wings and also construction plane used at the wings are already. So there you go. So the wing section is much more easier than the fuselage. And again, next would be the auxiliary pod right around here.